Hi, Healing Hearts. Well, it's about the mind-body connection sometimes, and today we're going to talk with a very special guest about just what she does to improve movement, to improve breathing, to help people connect to themselves and connect to the artistic side of themselves. Come on, join us. Hi, Healing Hearts. It's me, Tony. And today I'm talking with my friend ShonniJ of ShonniJ Productions. She's an artist, she's an entrepreneur, she's a fabulous person. She's well connected with herself, she's well connected with others. She's an instructor, she just does so many things. So I just want to talk to her today, and we're going to talk about wellness and the importance of motion to wellness and motion to happiness. And so I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay.
So thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Tony, for having me. I'm very appreciative for this opportunity. Well, I'm Shonnita Johnson. I am a dancer, an artist, and an entrepreneur, and an educator. I really don't like the labels, but I mean, we need to have those things so like people can understand who we are and who we connect with and how we can connect to each other. Mm-hmm. I guess dance is the most important thing in my life. Okay. And that started at a young age when I was in church dancing. It wasn't as technical, but it allowed me to be humble and come from a place of passion and allow my gift to not be selfish for myself, but use the power of my gift to like heal others and give back to others. Mm-hmm. So that's why I am glad that I started in that environment. Mm-hmm. But I started to train when I was in 10th grade at Baltimore School of the Arts.
Wow. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
Yeah, and then from there I went on to Point Park University in Pittsburgh, and that's really where a lot of more of the professionalism came in and high technical training, as well as in high school. Mm-hmm. But dancing with companies and understanding like the industry and just kind of where I want to be and where I don't want to be, and how I can connect that to like where I am today.
Okay. So you said that you had kind of like a liturgical dancing kind of background.
Yes.
And in thinking about that makes me know that like your family was kind of like really connected with the church and,
yes.
and things like that. So how did like your parents in particular feel, or your, you know, like your family, when you started branching out,
right,
and using your expression for, you know, kind of like the more artistic side of things?
Right. Well, you know, my parents, I am an individual, so they weren't they were supportive. They weren't judgmental,
awesome. Right.
You know, at anything. And for me, especially at a young age, I was determined to do exactly what I wanted to do anyway. So it was just kind of no stopping me. But they also understood that, you know, we're spiritual beings first, and we can't be bogged down by a religion. I mean, I'm actually not a religious person. I don't believe in religion because I feel like that becomes very political, and it takes the true love out of it, and it's just not what it is. Whatever your religion, exactly, like whatever your religion or belief is, that's fine. But if you don't have true unconditional love and you don't know who you are within yourself, then you're lost. So they were very supportive, and I wanted to explore outside of the church because I feel like a lot of times it's easy to be in a comfort zone there and get complacent and not understand about the world around us. Right.
So, and that's always going to be there. You have to kind of navigate your way through whatever's coming. I understand, like, kind of being in the bubble.
Yeah.
So you kind of can't, you know. You're not. I think that sometimes it makes people like a little less well-rounded.
Yes.
If they, you know, if they're just like in one zone all the time.
Yes.
So, which makes me think of the artistic endeavor that I'm on right now to do this. Kind of stepping out of the comfort zone, especially with me being a person of artistic background, and I used to be an actress and all that kind of stuff, and I am like wonderful on stage with you know, free expression, things like that. But I am terrified of the camera, like terrified of like video and stuff like that. So that this is part of my journey to help others be able to expand, and I'm glad that you've done that in your life.
Thank you.
You know, that you've been able to kind of apply your passion all the way around, you know.
I think you're doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
First off, I mean, and I do think that's like a really great way to lead by example, like not to understand that we're flawed. And like not to come to our audiences or the world from a perfect place, because that's not real or relatable.
That doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist, and that's why we have a lot of problems and mental health issues and insecurities, because people who have the platform present themselves to be perfect, and then people who look up to them because they are leaders and there are followers then try to exemplify exactly what they're giving, but there hasn't been no conversation. There hasn't been any dialogue about the actual human being of the person. So
and that's our essence, I think. You know, that's our essence. We have to be who we are. And if there's things that we can do that we can get to a better place, then we need to kind of seek those things, because we affect everyone around us. I mean, we not only do we affect ourselves in our trajectory, but we affect everyone with our energy. So, and it's, speaking of energy, let's talk about the dance classes that you do, and how you incorporate that into your people, how you incorporate movement, dance, things into what you do, and tell me about some of the challenges there and what you do to overcome that.
All right. So when I was teaching the adults, I was noticing it was very fulfilling for me to see the growth in confidence. And I feel like that came from my approach as a teacher as well. Just allowing them to say like, oh, a lot of people didn't want to take my class because they'll see a picture of my leg up here and be like, I can't do that. And I'm like, but that's not the point. You know, I'm expressing my gift and my passion to show you, to not say be like me, but to come in and say, I'm not going to look down on you or judge you because you don't have your leg up here. Really, that is not the basis of dance. It comes from feelings and emotions and expression, and once you have that and you're able to create a conversation through movement, then you're able to grow. And so like seeing the growth of all of the students was just, it made me excited. It allowed me to grow. With my kids as well, like I teach in various dance studios in the county, so Divine Dance Institute, which is a faith-based studio, and then ZD Dance. It's called Zion Daughters.
And all of these are Calvert County?
No,
Maryland?
this is in PG County.
PG County, Maryland.
Which is where I'm originally from.
Okay.
Yeah. They have us a lot of youth there, and I always tell them, like, don't take dance and put it in a separate box from your life. Especially because you're here all day, you're here 24/7, this is your family, you're doing competitions, eat, sleep, breathe, dance. Why would you disconnect it from growing and learning in your regular life? And I just try to be real with them and ask them questions, not say like, oh, you're the child, I'm the adult, so this is what it is, but mostly like instill deep processing practices within them so that they can really understand and use common sense, which, you know, that's a whole nother conversation.
Like, did you always think, oh, I can really do this, I really got this, or did you have some kind of like trepidation or fear at the beginning, and where you're like, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do? Or
no, I mean, I've never felt like I've never wanted to do it, but I have had challenges where I'm just like crying, or just like, oh my God. But I always say to myself, even from a young age, in those moments, like, cry it out, do what you need to do, but at the end of the day, you're going to look back at this moment and be glad that you continue to move forward and to press forward. Like, I don't like to give up, and I like a challenge, so having those moments are real. And there have been challenges, like when I had my first event, I was like so nervous. I was like, what if people don't come? Like, the normal everyday things, but I couldn't feed into that energy too much, because then I didn't want to be counterproductive to the thoughts and manifestations and things that I wanted, you know, and it's hard work. It's not easy because it's like I'm deprogramming myself.
Yeah, it's very hard, and I've noticed this even about myself. It's very hard sometimes to avoid the little nitpicky things of the self-limiting talk.
Yeah.
My daughter and I, she actually did a photo shoot with me the other day, and I found it interesting that we were at the water, and we're up on it's kind of like a ledge, and there's no protection. Like if you fall over, you fall into the water, you know. And I'm walking down there, and my brain is saying, you know, someone telling me, oh, don't fall, don't break a leg, don't do this, just limiting stuff that I've heard from others, and you have to be careful about that because you put that into your own self.
Exactly.
You know, at the time, sometimes you're just like, you know, you just brush it off. But in those moments, you remember that you have to have a deeper place that you can pull from.
Yes.
You know, so you can't let that fear overtake you.
Exactly.
So I'm glad that you've kind of mastered that. You know, it's a work in progress.
Never ending.
It's always a work in progress. But.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's very important. I you know, even with like my loved ones and friends and family, especially if it's something that's really important to me or something that is in the works that hasn't even really quite scratched the surface about, I don't let anyone put their mouth on it in a negative way. I'm like, only thing you can say about it is positive prayers and thoughts and emotions or things that you don't see yet that you want to happen. Anything
Manifestation.
else, yes, being able to do that and stick to it and be passionate about it is also like you said, changing other people's mindsets to think like, oh wait, like okay, I should do that with the things I want or believe and not live in a fantasy world, you know.
But realizing your potential that's within you, because I think that the Creator gives us each something, like a little piece of something that we're supposed to take it to the whole world. Nobody else has got this.
Exactly.
Nobody else is going to have the same experiences that you've had. So we all express it kind of in a different way. So let's talk about movement and movement creating happiness, movement creating kind of a liberalness kind of with your body, being comfortable in your own body, comfortable in your own skin. A lot of women have body image issues. I'm one of those people. But you know, you kind of push past it, but you still always seek something like to make yourself feel more full.
Yeah.
So tell me how dance and range of motion and all those kind of things, breathing, those kind of things affect us.
They have a huge effect on like our stability and health as individuals. But I mean, I can teach your viewers and the world all types of breathing techniques, all types of movement, how to be full and take up the space. But it's in the mind. It starts in the mind first, you know. So you have to talk yourself through it. Like let's say if you're in a dance class and something becomes hard, you have to say, okay, like I got this, I can do this. Breathe, push down, lift. Like you literally have to have like a monologue in your head of talking to yourself all the time so that you can push through. But once you get into the mind and you're able to connect that to your body and your thoughts, and it all becomes one to expand out and produce a new energy to the world, then you have the key. Like you're ready to be successful. So really like happiness and joy and fluidity and movement comes from taking up the space. I say like we have a huge world around us. We don't even know exactly everything that is in it.
Right.
So you have to kind of take up the space in whatever room or environment you're in when you're using movement and your breath, and take it like you're trying to explore.
And you radiate that.
Thank you.
That's one of the first things that made me think of you to come on, you know, onto here and talk to us. is because, well, we met, so you have a little bit of a backstory. We met at the inaugural event of the 2019. This was the first year, the Maryland
Arts Summit.
Right, the Maryland Arts Summit 2019. So, and we just kind of, the universe kind of brought us to the same space, and as well as another group of women.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
It was so beautiful.
It was amazing. But you were so passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
Passionate about life in general, You remind me a lot of my daughter. Visa Samara Poe, go check her out. Yeah, you remind me a lot of her, and how your spirit and your energy are, and how you radiate that.
Yeah.
So that was incredible. Yeah, that was incredible for me.
I really, just side note, like that moment at the Maryland Arts Summit was beautiful to me. Like being
Wasn't
around,
that the best?
It was the best. Like, and especially just meeting you and all the other women that literally, like, we just all kind of flocked, magnetized to each other in this way that it's just really not by our own power. And
it was just organic.
It was organic. And me being able to take a step back and listen to amazing melanated culture queens, like my elders, in a way, in the most respectful way possible. It was just great, just to listen.
I'm so glad that they did that.
Yeah.
I'm going next year.
Yes.
So I'll see you there?
Yes.
Sounds good.
But yes, so just like expanding and taking the range of motion and creating a story. Like, I like to write, and I do like spoken word, so I'm always connecting my words to my body as well, and creating a poem, a poetry when I'm moving. I'm expanding out, like things like that. Even on stage, even if I already have a storyline of a performance, I have to connect it to me personally as well. So you have to create those stories.
And I feel that's the way I am when it comes to putting my dreams and etc. on canvas.
Okay. Yes.
Or writing, whatever it may be. That you can have a plan, but you know how they say, like, the best laid plans of mice and men. It kind of turns out to be what it is.
Yes.
So that's how it flows out of you.
Yes.
So I think that it's good that you talk about telling yourself, like, internally, to make it all come out and extend yourself, extend your spirit, so that it touches things around you. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think that's an important perspective that you have.
Thank you. I mean, and we also have to be patient with ourselves too. Like, we can't think like, oh, I'm telling my body to do this and it's just going to do it. Like, you have to have a peace about it.
You have to feel it, right?
Yeah. And you have to allow that thought to connect and like see what the body is going to do first. Because I feel like our makeup and our bodies are the most highly technological pieces of, I mean, I couldn't call it equipment, but
so many things that we don't even understand.
How does movement influence you as a person? I just think that
we're, as humans, we're moving, breathing, living, everything, all the time. We're always in perpetual motion. And even in motion in our minds, when we're not, when we're kind of semi at rest, we're still, the wheels are still turning. So there's always some sort of motion. There's emotional motion. How we interact with other people. And I think that all those things affect me. And as a woman, knowing that women, and I'm not saying that men don't, but women give so much of themselves, that we have to remember that we are individuals. But that we still influence the collective. And part of that is the motion of, the motion of realizing who you are. That's a mental motion, I guess, realizing who you are and what you encompass and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what motion means to me. And also motion means being in physical, being in physical condition. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I just had like a major surgery a few months back. So being still, as like it wasn't supposed to do anything at all, that really was a catalyst for this that I'm doing right now. Because I think I had a lot of time to sit there and think, what are the different things that I could do to be more involved in my own healing process. and that starts mentally, of course, like we talked about before. But there are a lot of things that you sit there and think about that you know you have to heal yourself from.
Yeah.
Things that you kind of put on the back burner. And I don't know, it's just important to keep looking to that and keep looking to involve yourself.
Yeah.
Like you have to make yourself be involved in healing yourself sometimes because you're so busy doing everything else. You know?
Yes.
And as a woman, I know you understand that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's so true. Being like proactive about yourself. It's like, you know, when you're in school and you have your teacher and the teachers already put a label on the parents based upon like if schoolwork is done, especially at a certain age. It's like if the schoolwork is done or if they come with a backpack that's full of mess, they feel like the parents are not involved. And that is the same thing with yourself. If you're getting a lack of sleep, if your mind is running on 24/7, or, you know, and me too, you know, like, I'm pretty sure everyone, I mean, you're pretty much lying if you're not, you know, but, you know, we have to have those check-ins with ourselves. We have to be involved with ourselves. We have to be good nurturers and parents and mothers to ourselves.
Okay, Healing Hearts, that's our show for today. I just want you to take a moment and rewatch it again. It's a good show, right? Okay, so ShonniJ, tell us about your channel, your social media, so that we can get our people hooked up with you.
Okay. So you can follow me on Instagram at ShonniJ, ShonniJ. That's the company's page, ShonniJ Productions. And you can also check our website out at www.shonnijpro.com.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us, comment, like, share. Handmade, Tony Poe. Bye, Healing Hearts.
Bye.
Bye.